Hi, everybody. Erika Robinson back again from In the Company of Cards. And this will be my 10th video. And I am celebrating having reached 280 subscribers. I'm thrilled. Thank you so much for liking what I do. If you like this video, wait till the end of it and hit the like button if you would. If you're not subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe and share if you've a mind to. So I have three questions that I thought I would look at with you today. The first one has to do with Robert Kennedy Jr.'s decision to exit the presidential race and throw his support to 45. And so I just wanted to look at how or whether that will affect the race. So, I could pull a significator or a focus card, but I'm going to let Spirit do that. I'm going to let Spirit decide what the middle card should be, because that will be instructive for us. So what effect will Robert Kennedy's throwing his support to Trump have on the race? Now, I did hear a statistic, which was that he potentially had as much as or would have taken as much as 20% of the vote. We don't know whether he would have taken it from Trump or from Harris. Probably from Trump, just guessing. But what will the effect of his dropping out and throwing his support to 45 be? Sorry, I said the word Trump. I try to avoid saying that. I like to say 45 instead. Okay. So I have some interesting cards. We have the letter. We have the crossroads. The star is the center card. We have the whip and we have the birds. So let's think about what these might mean. So I'm going to say that the letter represents votes. Oh, by the way, this is not for nothing that he's throwing his votes to Trump. He would like to be the Secretary of Health. Can you imagine? Okay, well, anyway, these are votes. This is the vote, though, being split, crossroads. The vote will be split. In other words, whatever that 20% is, they are not all going to go to Trump. It's not like he has delegates or anything. He's just saying to his supporters, I think you should vote for Trump. I suspect with the crossroads card here that there will be many who say, thanks, but no thanks. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Harris, or I'm not going to vote, or I'm going to put a third person in. But Trump will not get all of that part of the electorate. It'll be split. Now, the star is the card for the future. And as I said, I mean, he dropped out because he knew he wasn't going to win, obviously, A, and B, because he had approached the Harris camp as well, asking them to give him some sort of guarantee of being in the government, in the cabinet or whatever, if he threw his votes to Harris. Harris said, no. So Trump, who's always for sale and appreciates people who are also for sale, said, yeah, please send them my way. Come on down. And so this is him. This is Robert Kennedy Jr. saying, this is going to set me up for the future as the Secretary of Health. I would say health, education, and welfare, but there won't be an education department. So if Trump gets in, probably there won't even be a health department. But anyway, that's what he's hoping for his future. Now, these two cards are interesting, the whip and the birds. The whip is about contentious conversations. And this kind of seconds it, because this is the card for conversation, for talking. This is heated conversation and talking. So I think that there will be a lot of talk amongst his followers about which way to go. Should they go with 45? Should they go with Harris? So this is contentious, which just makes the case for the vote being split. I can mirror certain cards. I can mirror the crossroads, which is that split vote, with the whip, because people are going to have very impassioned feelings about doing one thing or the other. And then I can also mirror the first card. Here it's the letter with the birds. So I think there will be some lobbying done on the part of the Harris campaign to bring some of these voters into the fold, because they will see that as a reasonable and good use of their time and their efforts, because the vote will be split. Everybody's not going to go to Trump. So, I mean, I don't think we have to worry about this anyway, because 45 is not going to win. But it's a question of will he lose by a greater margin? Will Harris win by a greater margin? I think a lot of those voters are going to choose to go with Harris because of this card and because of the fact that they'll be lobbied in that direction and may see the merit of going in that direction. Okay. The next question that I want to look at has to do with the fact that the first or second night, I don't remember, of the convention, there was a couple who were invited to speak, who are parents of one of the hostages, a young man, the mother and the father of the hostage, one of the hostages being held by Hamas. And they both spoke. They spoke elegantly and eloquently and well and movingly about their son and his plight, and also the fact that everybody who's being held is not Jewish. I mean, there are Muslims, there are Buddhists, there are Christians who are among the number of hostages who are being held by Hamas. And I'm glad that they were given that platform. I think that was an important and good and right thing to do. I think I also have read before on whether or not the Palestinian cause the Gazan cause would get equal airtime. And I know that there were some uncommitted attendees of the convention who asked if they could have a representative speak from a vetted text. So the speech would have been gone through to make sure, it wasn't saying anything untoward. And they were turned down by the Democrats. Personally, I think that is a really bad mistake. I mean, genocide is genocide, regardless of who's committing it. So if you're going to give these parents a platform, why would you not give the Palestinian people a platform? So I'm going to look and see whether or not this stance will change, and whether, tonight's the last night, whether they will be allowed to speak. I think it would be a huge mistake if they're not given the chance. But that's just me. Let's see what the universe has to say on this. I think the card I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the young man card and have that stand for a Palestinian people's spokesperson. So I'm going to charge it with that energy and ask about the chances of him or her being allowed to address the convention at large. Well, we have the rider, we have the tree. Here's our young man representing a potential spokesperson tonight at the convention on behalf of the Palestinian people who have been ill-treated, we'll just call it. We have the older man, and then we have Clover. Clover. Okay, so let's see what I am being told about this. There will be news. So, in other words, I don't think that the situation will stand status quo the way that it is. This is something new coming in. I can mirror that with the last card, which is Clover. In this case, Clover would be, oh, a surprise that they do get to speak, albeit, because it's Clover, briefly. I mean, and that's fine. Brief is good because these are some late nights they've been having. It's good to live on the West Coast because everything's all sewn up by 10 o'clock. But at any rate, this looks good to me. I hope it's not wishful thinking. You know, you never know. I try to get my ego out of it so that wishful thinking doesn't play a part. But news coming in that is happy, fortunate, surprising, and brief. In other words, if you speak, make it quick. Okay. Then we have the tree, and we have this older man. Remember that the center card is this, standing for a Palestinian spokesperson. But I can mirror the tree with this older man. And here's what I think about that. The tree. Are the Democrats not trying to build something new and fresh and sustainable and generative and life affirming and joyful and welcoming? All of these things are the tree. You know, you start with the roots, and then comes the trunk, and then the branches, and then the leaves. So they would be well served with this card here to have these people as part of the umbrella that they're trying to create. You know, if you think of this tree as like an umbrella or a big tent, they should be brought in under the tent. It will only be goodwill that results from this, and not goodwill if they're not allowed to speak. And then it's mirrored by this older man, and this just feels like mature, steady, calm, wise energy. You know, let's not be cowed by people telling us we shouldn't do this. You know, let's make our decision from a place of strength and compassion and conviction that both sides being heard is the right thing to do. So I think, of course, I also hope that that's what will happen. You know, that they will at least be able to give a brief statement. We'll see. The third question, not to leave a bad taste in your mouth, this next question, but has to do with 45. 45 has said, and I wrote it down, so let me look at my phone for the quote. 45 said, sorry, I just want to shuffle the card so that the energy from the last question is out. Okay, so 45 said, this is a quote from 45, "Our primary focus is not to get out the vote. It's to make sure the Democrats don't cheat." Our primary focus is not to get out the vote. Nothing like saying the quiet part out loud. So, no, but as he's implying, you know, the vote is one thing. What happens after everybody's cast their ballots is another thing. Whether people can cast their ballots or are prohibited from doing that, whether they've been bumped from the rolls, etc., whether people have been paid off to count things a certain way or not count certain votes is another thing. That's really what he's talking about, right? That's that dog whistle to whoever he has got in his pocket to make sure that the vote is not really what the vote really was. So I'm going to use the letter as the focus card to stand for the vote. And I want to know what effect will 45's, I would say Machiavellian machinations, but he's not smart enough to be Machiavellian. What effect will 45's plan to circumvent the election have on the outcome? Okay, so excuse me, I have to flip until I get to the letter, because that's our card. All right, so this is the card that will be in the center. This stands for the vote writ large, right? The vote. And I'm putting the two cards that came before it to the left, and the two cards that would come after it to the right. And I'm going to pull a couple of clarifiers. Okay, on the last two cards. So here's what we have. These are the 5 cards. We have the coffin. We have again the rider. We have the vote. We have the moon, and we have the whip. And I pulled a couple of clarifying cards for the moon and a couple of clarifying cards also for the whip. So let me put these down back in order and we can go through them. So the coffin. You know, again, I know I sound like Pollyanna, but I think he will be in some way dead-ended. I don't think that what he wants to do, he'll be able to do. He'll be sort of boxed in. Get it? The coffin's a box. I think he'll be boxed in. And the following card is the rider. So I think he will get word somehow. He'll just know that, you know, I don't know that people are going to go his way. Everybody who says that they'll, you know, skew the vote, I don't know that they will go to that extreme. Center card, of course, stands for the vote. And then we have the moon and the whip. I'm going to say, I think this is 45's reputation. It's bad, and it's only going to get worse moving forward because he is getting worse. He is incontinent in his speech. Like he can't control himself. He needs like a diaper on his mouth. The moon is your reputation and how people see you. And I think there will be a lot of contention about, you know, this guy and what he's all about. And if he's helping our party meaning their party, the Republicans. You know, I think there'll be a lot of arguments about him and whether he's serving the cause or not serving the cause. I can mirror cards. I can mirror the rider, which is our second card, with our 4th card, the moon. So there will be a lot of news coming in about his reputation. And the news, of course, will probably come from him. He will just keep sticking his foot in his mouth over and over and over again to the detriment of his party. Also, we have this coffin mirror, which is the first card, mirroring the last card, which is the whip. I mean, and to me, this is the Republicans saying, damn it, we're dead in the water. Damn it. And he did it to us. He did it to us. Right. Now, I pulled clarifiers because, I don't want to be Pollyanna if it's not Pollyanna-like. So on the moon, the clarifiers for this card, the moon, were the ship and the sun. And I think I want to say two things about this. On the one hand, I think that whatever plan he has will be, or plans, plural, that he has, will be to move forward with his nefarious purpose, will be uncovered. The sun shines light on stuff, right? So, and the country has a lot to lose, right? Everybody around the world is watching us, and our reputation is at stake. And when I look at this card in relation to these two, it ceases to be him, his reputation, it's our reputation. Moving forward, I think our reputation will be better than it's been, will be burnished, will be improved, will be, what people want to think of the United States as. Okay. Now, with the whip, and remember, that's that sort of contentious card. We have the bear and we have the key. I think the bear, who is my card for Trump, 45, will be lambasted for his big mouth and his big ego and all of the damage that he is doing the party that is his party. I think that that is the key. Now, I want to mirror the very first card, which is the coffin, with the very last card, which is the key. I think his efforts will be stymied. And that is all to the good, because the key is as good as the sun. It unlocks doors, it answers questions. I just think that his difficulties will continue to pile up. The higher we go, the harder he falls. And I think he will be seen as no longer a useful idiot for the party of Project 2025, but just an idiot, someone who does not advance their cause. He is a detriment, a liability, more than he has been an asset, and that will increase. So will his efforts to throw over the election work? I'm going to say no. And if I had a hat, I would eat it if I'm wrong, but I don't have a hat, so there you go. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. This will not work. It will not work. Whatever he's planning, it will not work. So enjoy the last night of the convention. If you liked this video, please now hit the like button, share it, subscribe. I'd love to get to the magic number of 300 subscribers. That would be so cool. I'd really love that. And thanks so much for watching.